This game auto-saves after each scene. Do not turn off your console during scene transition. I don't plan to turn off my N64 randomly, hopefully. It's so quiet. Do you think they forgot? Forget a royal visitation? No one could make such a blunder, princess. You gotta have the intro. Well, I guess I should just go in then. Huh? No! No! He's dead! Now it's too quiet. I'm going back to 7.5 mode. March 17th, 9:37 a.m. The High Road Grand Court, defendant lobby number 3. Link talking to me? You think after so many years of doing this, I'd be used to the stress. So why am I shaking? God, I guess it's a lot worse when it's your friend's life that's on the line. The music. Come on, gotta look professional. He can't see you like this. Speaking of her, though, where is she anyway? Oh, he's talking. Hey, you over there! Huh? What is it, attorney? The trial isn't starting yet. But it will be soon, right? Would you happen to know why my client isn't here yet? I didn't get to speak much with her when she was arrested, so I was hoping I could at least exchange a word with her now. Well, you weren't the only one with the idea. I believe she is currently in the prosecutor's lobby. You wanted to talk to her as well. Yeah, Link famously known for talking in a courtroom, by the way. I don't know if you knew this fun fact. What? What is up with this guy? He bars me from the crime scene, blocks my detention center visits, and now this? Not to worry, she will definitely be here before the trial. Great, that'll be a joyous 5 minutes indeed. But there's nothing I can do but wait. Yeah, only for legal reasons. Sometime later, ... Okay, this is ridiculous. How much longer can he keep her? Ah, see, there she is. Hi, Spectrum. No need to get all worked up. Something wrong? Did I hear shouting? So much for looking professional. No, don't worry. Everything's fine. Also, I'm playing this on my N64, by the way. For extra fun. This is Malin. Ever since we met in Hyrule Castletown all those years ago, we've been great friends. Her heart's in the right place. I know she cared deeply about her father. Everything's fine. Why do you look so worried? I'm checking. It's okay. Everyone, I have my attorney's badge with me. Do not worry. No, he's deceased. The victor, owner of Lon Lon Ranch and Malin's loving father. My longtime friend and the defendant in this case. We have no evidence besides the attorney's badge. Well, how did the investigation go? Did you find anything? Yes, the investigation. I found tons of groundbreaking stuff. Particularly that my opponent's a real scumbag. What did the prosecutor want from you anyway? Well, it was mostly just threats. He kept explaining in detail what'll happen to me if I'm found guilty. Doesn't sound like a vital discussion that needed to happen right before the trial. He probably just did that so we wouldn't have as much time to talk. You believe in me, right? I didn't do it, I'd never. Yeah, I believe you. Of course I believe you. Although, I'll be honest, things aren't looking very good right now. That's a good question, Lynx. Who is the gumshoe of this universe? What's that you got there? Oh, this is just a pictograph of father I carry around. I just can't believe he's gone. What an interesting image here. I wish I knew how to cheer her up right now. I'm not very good at handling emotional clients. Hey, you know, that pictograph could be really useful for the trial. Oh, how so? Well, you look so happy together. I can present it to show that you two had a great relationship. You really think so? Ah, well, here you go then. Everyone, we have the pictogram. At least I'll be walking in there with something other than my badge. But wait, we shouldn't just be idly chatting. Anyways, there's not much time left. I know it's hard to talk about, but can you tell me what actually happened? I don't stand much chance if I don't know your version of the story. I understand. Unfortunately, there really isn't much to it. The trial is starting! Defendant attorney, please enter the courtroom at once. I'm turning the game up a little more. A little quiet. Uh-oh, shouldn't have said that stuff about having no chance. Let me know if it gets too loud again. I mean like really loud, where you can't hear me loud. The prosecutor's been playing me for a fool since this began, but sooner or later his arrogance will be his undoing. Let's head inside. My name is Link. I've been a defense attorney for the last 7 years. I've won my fair share of cases and lost some too, but this one is personal. There's so much at stake here. Not only do I have to save Malon's life, I gotta find out who did this to Talon. Talon, he was always so kind. He didn't deserve this. I need to do him justice. I can't lose this. Court is now in session for the trial of Malon of Lon Lon Ranch. You're blocking the text. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Honor? I sincerely doubt that. What were they thinking? Putting me against some pathetic kid? No, this is Dragmeyer. Come on, can't you read the name? Ugh. Pathetic kid, what gives you the right? Still your tongue. You bring shame upon the fine color of your hair, vile woman. Before long, the world shall know the horrible deeds you've committed. Let us not prolong the inevitable. Shall we begin? Now, this court is no place to be exchanging insults. Since the prosecution's ready as well, let's hear their opening statement. The opening statement shall also be the closing one. The girl did it, it's obvious. She killed her own father in cold blood. You keep blocking the text. Also, she could have the ranch to herself. Couldn't wait for the old fool to die naturally, could you, greedy little rat? Yeah, the animation worked. Your Honor, you can't allow this man the privilege of using the defendant like this. Ha, she committed murder, kid. She deserves every bit of scorn she gets. I do believe a little less commentary wouldn't go amiss. Ah, I assure you, old man, you will change your opinion once you see all the damning evidence. Who is this guy? How can he speak to the judge like that? Ganondorf Dragmeyer. Looks like I've been lucky to avoid meeting this man until now. The stories I heard about him must be true. Boorish barbarian of a man hailing from the Gerudo province. Apparently he prides himself on the nearly clean streak he's cultivated for decades, all while disrespecting everyone in the court, including the judge. Well, now you know the Zelda lore, because Link just told you all of it. Thinking to himself, I've even heard some attorneys refer to him as the king of evil. Definitely has that look at the very least. Who wears full armor to court? Very well, present your case to the court. You don't seem to like me talking, so I'll just let the detective present the basics. Bring Impa of the Chica Force to the stand. Well, here we go, the first battle. I know Impa, she's quite a competent detective, which worries me. Please let her have made a mistake just this once. Yeah, all the animation work in this is incredible so far. Alright, state your name and whatever it is you pretend to do. You never change, do you, prosecutor? Any possible change would be for the worse. Now stop wasting time. Name and occupation. Oh man. Very well. I am Impa, head detective of the Chica Force Homicide Division. True, for now at least. Well, what are you waiting for? Start talking. You were the one assigned to this case, so you know all about it. What calamity has befallen our fair kingdom? Hi, Bleedin'. I'm in court. Still can't be bothered to give a proper opening statement. I suppose I can do the prosecutor's job for him this time for the sake of an unbiased look. Please, go ahead, detective. The music. The incident happened early yesterday morning on Lon Lon Ranch, a local supplier of goods located just south of Castletown. The current owner of the homestead, Talon, was found dead in his ranch house. A tragic loss for our kingdom, for sure. I haven't seen the man around Castletown. I have seen the man around Castletown a number of times delivering goods. Quite. The owner was a rather important figure in the local community. In any case, we were alerted to the scene of the murder by the royal guard who were there on official business. Official business? What kind? As I understand, the ranch provides the kingdom with vital services. To ensure it is operating as it should, and a gesture of appreciation, the crown orders a visitation to the ranch every year. I see. A scheduled annual visit. Continue, detective. When the Chica Force arrived, they found the victim bleeding out onto the floor. Next to him lay his daughter, Malin, breathing but unresponsive. After a thorough investigation, we arrested her as she was deemed the only possible culprit. That about covers the gist of what happened. Very nice and snug. Don't laugh. You see, he needs to stop laughing. Oh-ho! I don't think the good detective here has to worry much about that, given she is the head of the department. Which reminds me, why is the head of the detectives herself on a case like this? Were the other detectives unavailable? That would be because I have been assigned to this case by order of the King of Hyrule himself. The King himself assigned you? That doesn't happen very often, does it? You are correct, Your Honor. I'm not usually involved in field work like this. This time, however, the King felt it necessary because of who is involved. Who is involved? The death of a ranch worker really such a concern for the King? Yeah, what's for dinner? Well, as I said, Lon Lon Ranch is a very important supplier of goods, to be sure. That's not who I meant. I imagine the king wanted the top investigators in the shop because it was the royal princess herself who discovered the crime scene. Rabble, rabble. Crowd's going wild. Music. Order! I will have order! The royal princess Zelda witnessed the crime. Ha, and there you have it. This case rides on the princess's own words. To doubt it would be to doubt your own royalty. This is bad. I can't really object to that. Very well. If the princess is testifying today, it's better we don't make her needlessly wait. Detective, please testify about exactly why the defendant was arrested. Are they gonna do the screen transition? The reasons for arrest. Karma, I think. It is with regret that I agree with Dragmire. All the evidence points towards the girl being the culprit. This up here is so good. They got it at the right exact pace. We determined that the murder definitely took place inside of the ranch house. There were only 3 people on the ranch: the victim, the defendant, and the worker who has an alibi for the time of the crime. The defendant was found unconscious right in front of the victim, who was bleeding out onto the floor. Furthermore, she was holding a weapon. Without a doubt, that's what was used to kill the victim. She seems like such a bright girl. Most unfortunate. Yeah, it's definitely the Von Karma. Got the laugh and everything. And like the attitude. Your Honor, I would like to submit these pieces of evidence to the court. First, I have the autopsy report performed by the Crown's top coroner. Wow. Here's what we determined to be the murder weapon which we took from the defendant's hands. A saw? To make sure we had the correct weapon, we conducted a very thorough investigation. Naturally, we searched everyone and thoroughly examined the ranch and its vicinity. Nothing unusual was found, but to be safe, we also checked the ranch inventory list to see whether anything was missing. The list matches the items we found on the ranch exactly, and nothing but the saw had fresh blood on it. I guess it did have flesh blood, but it's besides the point. That does sound quite compelling. This must have been a truly terrifying scene. Dying from a wound made by a weapon like this is extremely painful. This only helps to prove the defendant's viciousness. At this rate, they're gonna paint Malin as some heartless monster. There is one more thing I feel like I should mention for the sake of completeness. Shortly after we arrived at the ranch, a courier showed up to take some milk shipments. Of course, business must go on. The finger wag? Is this really necessary to enter into evidence, though? The shipments didn't end up leaving the ranch, so I feel it bears mentioning. Were the contents checked before you let them go? Naturally, who do you take us for? Even though the worker handling the shipments did get quite worked up about it, we cracked all the boxes open to check what was inside. In the end, it did turn out to only be milk bottles, so we let them through. Very well. Thank you for your thoroughness, detective. Milk shipment. So what happens now? Well, this is where I step in and perform a cross-examination. Ah, great. How does that work? Huh? Can you explain what you're going to be doing? Guys, I know how to cross-examine an ace attorney. It's okay. Sorry, but there's no time for that. We have to get started right away. Oh, all right then. I'll just try my best to follow along. You know what you're doing. I sure hope so. This might not be easy. The defense is ready to cross-examine the witness. Ah, a waste of time. Yeah, I'm a lawyer. I sincerely hope you're not implying that standard court procedure is a waste of time, Mr. Dragmeyer. In any case, we're ready, defense. Please begin the cross-examination. The cross-examination. It auto-saves after every screen transition. Deep, irregular wound made with a sharp metal object. Victim died from a loss of blood no later than 8 a.m. Supposed murder weapon found in Malin's hands. Clean of blood. Huh? A list of equipment on the ranch. Press A for details. Ingo. 4 rakes, 4 garden hose, 8 buckets, 1 wood saw. I like how shitty this picture is. You can only see half of it. Some orders of milk that left the ranch a little while after the crime. All evidence points towards the girl being the culprit. What makes you think she's the culprit? He's just about to tell you. Keep quiet and listen. All right, sorry. Indeed, as I was saying. We determined that the murder definitely took place inside of the ranch house. All these animations are so good, by the way. And just how did you do that? It's quite simple. There was no blood found anywhere else. Had the victim been attacked at some other location, we'd expect a trail of it leading to the scene. Couldn't the killer have just cleaned it all up? Certainly not. The path of the ranch house at Lon Lon Ranch is not paved in any way. Cleaning blood off the ground would require disturbing the soil. Naturally, we found nothing of the sort. Bah, there wouldn't have been enough time to pull that off anyway. Likely true. Right, it sounds like the location of the crime scene is pretty firm, but I'm not giving up yet. History? Oh, there's an actual, like, message log. Hi, O'Neill, I'm in court. Hey-ya! 3 people, you say? I guess that would have to be Mr. Ingo. Let me stop you before you start getting too excited. If you had listened to the rest of what the detective said, you noticed you mentioned an alibi. Indeed, we're pretty certain that the ranch worker couldn't have been involved. Well, what is this alibi then? You might remember that I brought up some outgoing milk shipments. Well, the worker Ingo was in charge of them. He left the ranch house first thing in the morning and was busy preparing the shipments after that. Is that so? Surely he couldn't have gone away Surely he couldn't have gotten away from that for one really quick little murder. I can't talk, I'm sorry. This streamer can't read and talk at the same time. Hi, Lego. How's it going, Lego? Sorry, trying to sit back down on my chair, had to get up. I know! Isn't it great that I can't do both at the same time, but I'm trying anyways, for fun? Bah, this wouldn't just be a quick little murder, as you so crudely put it. He'd have to have taken steps to hide his involvement too. There was definitely not enough time for that. Unfortunately, I agree. Preparing a shipment is a lot of work. You have to milk all the cows, clean all the bottles, pour the milk out into them, and arrange them all in the crates, and then finally load it all up onto a wagon. Usually I had to do it together with fodder to finish before the courier arrived. The shipments were already ready when we arrived at the ranch. When we checked the boxes, they were all fully loaded with filled milk bottles. So this Ingo was able to do all the work of 2 people all on his own. Isn't that a bit odd? Hi, Lego. Odd or not, he evidently did just that. Clearly, he's a man dedicated to his job. Or perhaps the girl and her father are just very inefficient. This whole thing seems awfully suspicious if you ask me, but I guess I have nothing to dispute it with. I can't handle the freaking examination or cross-examination music remix. There's dynamic music. When you open up the court record, it like changes the music. It like starts taking the main instruments away. The judge. Age 59, prosecutor assigned to the case, rude to others, easily angered. Impa, age 34, head of detectives assigned to investigate the case. Malin fainted? Correct. We couldn't get her to wake up for a long time. Eventually we decided to administer a healing fairy so she could be questioned. I guess finding the body was just that much of a shock, huh? Ha! Probably just pretending, trying to make it look like she had merely found the body. In any event, Eggly. Furthermore, she was holding a weapon. Without a doubt, that's what was used to kill the victim. No? There's no blood on it. But I want to listen to what everyone says anyways. And how can you be so sure of this? Look at the autopsy report. Deep, irregular wound made with a sharp metal object. He's so smug about this. Look at this pose. The saw was the only sharp implement in the ranch household that could produce such a wound. And as I've already mentioned, we also looked closely at all other sharp things on the ranch. None had recent blood on them. That still doesn't necessarily mean the saw was the murder weapon. Maybe the real culprit hid the real one. Oh yeah? Prove it then. Show us the real murder weapon. Oh, I don't have any way to do that. Still, something bothers me about that saw. So you have nothing. What a waste of time. Hey, you can hold this saw. Yeah. Sure is. We've known each other for years. Yet she murdered her father in cold blood. How curious. Perhaps you're just bad judges of character, both of you. No way, just give me some time and I'm going to prove it. You see anything wrong yet? Well, usually it's difficult to find anything wrong with the basic facts of the case. That said, I do think I saw one small thing. Really? That's great. They have the Ace Attorney dialogue down, like, perfectly. Like, down to, like, the pauses, the sound effects, the red text at the perfect time. Not too often, but often enough. It sure is, because I've got to poke around all the holes I can find before the princess gets here. Oh, that's nice. They tell you if you've already pressed the statement before. I don't remember if they did that before. All right. He pulls the knife out when it's kind of a curious statement, it seems. I'm gonna present. The music stop as well, which is the most important part. Huh? This seems like a fairly large oversight. I just want to make sure of something. The state of the saw is currently in... The state the saw is currently in is how you found it at the crime scene. That's correct. That's strange, considering how much of the victim bled out and how deep his wound was. Why is there no blood on the supposed murder weapon? Ha! Is that all you have? Huh? Naturally, the prosecution has an explanation for why the saw is clean. Music. Behold, this cloth is found in the defendant's other hand. As you can plainly see, it is stained with blood. The defendant simply wiped the murder weapon in a futile attempt to hide her involvement. The freaking background. It's perfect. If Malin was trying to hide her involvement, why didn't she just leave the crime scene? Obviously, she was trying to hide the body before the royal visitation arrived at the ranch. Unfortunately for her, it just so happened that the delegation arrived a bit earlier than scheduled. In a panic, she quickly wiped the saw off and pretended to faint to make it look like she just stumbled upon the scene. Gah. Young lady, things are not looking very good for you right now. The court accepts the bloodied cloth into evidence. So, what's the story with this cloth? Well, as I was doing a final check around the ranch, I noticed that there were parts of the fence around the horse. I noticed that part of the fence around the horse paddock was damaged. Yeah, but the judge is not biased. He's a friend. Not entirely sure what happened, when that happened, but sometimes one of the horses just gets a bit too rowdy, you know? Right? Anyway, I didn't want to bother Mr. Ingo about it, so I tried to cut up a new rail by myself to patch it up. But then the saw slipped and I cut my hand open. Oh, goddesses, are you okay? Well, it wasn't that bad. It did bleed quite a lot though, so I used that cloth to quickly bandage the wound. I was actually going into the ranch house to ask Father to help me with the fence. Ha! A likely story. And impossible to verify now, of course. The Sheikah force had to use a ferry on the defendant to get her out of her supposed unconsciousness. I do have to give her some credit. She is one cunning woman. You knew that would explain a sudden lack of any wound on her hand. Oh, why yes, fairies are wonderful. Just the other day I slammed my hand with the gavel and one took the pain off immediately. Great. Glad to know they're used for such important things. But, too bad there's no way to tell whose blood is on the cloth. We'll never know. Hi, Oniro. I'm in court. Would you be in my jury duty? You've been invited, by the way. Check your mailbox. I do believe this matter has been settled. I am ready to call my next witness. Uh-oh. Is that all I can get out of her? You served your purpose, Sheikah. Be gone. Fine, but you had best treat her highness with respect to her. I'll see to it that you spend the night in the dungeons. Do not presume to threaten me, Sheikah. A night of darkness and solitude would be nothing but comfort for me. Is that so? Perhaps we should fill the dungeon with lit candles for the occasion. They're glaring daggers at each other. If this doesn't end soon, we're all in trouble. Slam. Order! Order! I'm sure we'll treat the princess with utmost respect. You may step down, detective. The music in this is the highlight for me right now. All these like Zelda remixes that are like technically like Ace Attorney like styled, but they all have like Zelda melodies in them or like references to Zelda themes. Is really good. This case has already made me wary with all the pointless jabber. The time is ripe to deal the final blow. I call Her Highness Princess Zelda of Hyrule to the stand. Character theme. Is something the matter? Why is everyone quiet all of a sudden? Ah, Your Highness! I believe we're all just a bit uncertain on how to proceed. It is quite the honor to have such an esteemed guest in these halls. Bah! In the face of the law, the princess is no different from a peasant. Name and occupation. Hold. Now. The prosecution will behave. I will not have any derogatory statements directed at the princess. Derogatory? Simply wish to not waste any more time. We must employ proper procedure. Oh man. It is alright, detective. I believe the prosecution does have a point. In the eyes of the law, we are all equals. On this stand, I am just another witness. I should not be getting any special treatment. Can I just say how awesome like Ganon as like the prosecutor is for a pick? It could have been a lot of choices, but I feel like Ganon's like the coolest one. Very admirable, Your Highness. High need. We can all rest easy knowing that the Hyrule is destined to have such a wise monarch in its future. Yes, indeed. I don't know. Any other Zelda character? Because the first one's always a loser. But I think skipping right to like the Karma / Edgeworth is a good idea. I eagerly await the day when our next ruler takes the throne and reshapes the kingdom in their image. You flatter me, prosecutor. Now then, I believe I was asked for my name and occupation. How's it going, Nate? I am Zelda. I'm not talking to you. I'm reading the text. I'm not Zelda. I am Zelda, current princess of the Hyrule and heir apparent to the throne. Marvelous, Your Highness. Before we begin, I would just like to know, why were you at Lon Lon Ranch to witness this terrible incident? What are you arting today? Would be the pain equivalent? The freaking, male guy that runs around. Or the kid from the village. Just show me it if you want, Nate. I'd love to see it. Ah, it's simple, really. Lon Lon Ranch is Hyrule Castle Town's biggest food supplier. Not only that, but the ranch also equips Hyrule's royal guard with the finest of horses. Every year, the royal family makes a visit as a gesture of goodwill and to ensure the quality of the steeds. Wow, I didn't know your horses were used by the royal guard. Hi, Tyrant. Yep, we work hard every year to make sure they're in the best possible condition. Father loved to boast about it to the other ranch owners. Knowing Talon, I'm sure he did. How unfortunate that the ranch may no longer meet the crown's high standards under new management. The royal family has a backup, I trust. We are looking for one. Naturally, those standards are quite high. Yes, of course. Now then, please describe what you saw on the day of the incident. I'm gonna resync the audio because it's been about an hour now. Give me a second. I gotta do this for the older console games. And Switch 2, apparently. Very well. Here I go. Oh, that's looking really good. I can see what you're going for with the background too. The scene behind the door. I arrived at Lon Lon Ranch a little after 8 a.m. accompanied by my loyal guards. I remember being surprised at how quiet everything was. There was nobody there to welcome us. I could sense that something was wrong. I opened the door to the ranch house and went inside. The room was mostly empty. There was a table with some kind of crystal bottle on top of it. But in front of the table, a terrifying scene was unveiling. The defendants hacked at the ranch owner's chest with the saw she was holding. I was overcome with fear and I screamed. I will never forget what I saw that day. I heard that Talon and his daughter were incredibly kind. I cannot believe she would commit such a horrible violence. What? Oh my, you saw the very moment the victim was killed? There you go. Decisive testimony. As there is no need to doubt the princess's statement, I call for the judge to make a ruling right away. Hey now, hold on. I didn't get to cross-examine the witness yet. You haven't, fool, because there is no need. Did you not hear one word of what I said? Didn't you just say we should follow all the procedures and treat the princess like any other witness? This is the defense's right. You complete. I believe the defense has a point. They do have every right to perform a cross-examination no matter who is testifying. I was quite looking forward to this part myself. I have only ever read about court proceedings in a loyal library. I don't know why I started it with an R. That being said, I will not tolerate any recklessness. I can't read. This is why I never streamed a Phoenix Wright game, because I would mess up every 10 words. Accusations towards the princess, is that clear? Naturally, Your Honor. How am I going to cross-examine the princess? This isn't going to end well. What's gotten into the prosecutor? That seemed like a rather intense outburst. Well, I do have a guess. Oh? Because of the princess's status, it's possible that Dragmire didn't have an opportunity to discuss her testimony with her. That might mean that this testimony is a surprise even to him. This could be my chance. Before we begin, there is just one thing that caught my attention. I believe the princess mentioned seeing some kind of glass bottle at the crime scene. That would be this, I presume. Why, yes, that is exactly it. What is that? Oh, this is the bottle of perfume that father intended to gift her highness when she arrived. Look, he rode out to town to get it at the last moment. I know, withholding evidence. Who would ever do that? In any courtroom and situation. We didn't know that the princess was coming instead of the king until only about 2 hours before the visitation. Oh, how thoughtful. He really did not need to bother himself so. As fascinating as all this is, the prosecution doesn't believe it's relevant to the case. It's good to have a full picture of the crime scene. The defense requests the bottle be accepted into evidence. Ah, desperate to lash onto every little thing, are you? Whatever. You can add it to the evidence, it will make you happy. No skin off my teeth. In that case, the court accepts this bottle into evidence. I got a perfume bottle. Now then, defense, begin your cross-examination. Yeah, where did he go to law school at? Perfume ranches. Gift for the princess, bought just before the crime, found at the crime scene. No, there never was in Phoenix Wright except like very specific cases. That's the reason why Justice for All Case 2 sucks. Because the stupid clown, when you try to hold it on him, you get a penalty if you push it too far and it's the wrong one. But besides that, there's usually never a penalty. That's just one of like 7 reasons why that one sucks. If these guards were with Her Highness, why were they not called as witnesses? Yeah, the objection sound effects and stuff are all really good in this. Hi, Catbat. We did question the guards naturally. Apparently, they didn't get to see anything relevant. I was the only one to enter the crime scene. After seeing what was inside, I stood guard and insisted that no one would be allowed inside until the Sheikah force arrived. Hi, Burb. I have read that preserving the scene is vital. Quite correct. I'm sure the guards were absolutely thrilled with this order. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard that at some point. But most of the issues with that are gameplay related rather than tone and setting and writing. I feel like the writing in that one is fine, minus the clown character himself being a little annoying, but it's not like the worst thing in the world. That's the whole point, you know? But most of the issues is it's paced really bad, it has a bad gimmick of the pressing giving you a penalty. It kind of sucks, like gameplay-wise. Like, it feels like characters just kind of talk forever and go around in circles and then go, we should get back to what we were talking about, because they keep yelling at, like, you know, some character being silly. So I feel like if it's cut down... No, I'm talking about the Justice for All Case 2, the circus one. I remember being surprised at how quiet everything was. There was nobody there to welcome us. That's true. Yeah. conducted these royal visitations in the past, Your Highness. No, this is my first one. Up until last year, my father was always the one to visit Lon Lon Ranch. However, he decided that I had to start preparing for all the royal duties that await me, and so I was to do it this time. Will doubtlessly perform admirably as a ruler when the time comes. Yeah, I don't think there is penalties in this. Although there might be something if I present the wrong evidence. What happened when you got to the ranch house? They just might not have put the UI on here until you actually get penalized. I could sense that something was wrong. I opened the door to the ranch house and went inside. And? What then? Stop interrupting and let her get to the point. Defense! I believe I was clear about not badgering the witness. Right, I need to calm down. The room was mostly empty. There was a table with some kind of crystal bottle on top of it. You paid attention to something like that after seeing a murder princess? Well, I spent a rather long time in there waiting for the Sheikah force to arrive. Plus, that bottle is quite beautiful. It just stood out. Well, you know, I'm sure we'll see at some point if there is a penalty gauge. I'm sure I'll get something wrong very soon, probably the next thing. But in front of the table, a terrifying scene was unveiling. The defendant hacked at the ranch owner's chest with the saw she was holding. Yeah, it stood out next to the dead body. Hey, yeah. Also, Malin killed her dad. That's what we're doing, in case you got here late. You were there at the exact time of the murder, Your Highness? That is correct. That's impossible, you're lying. The defendant will curb her outburst. You're addressing royalty. This is really bad, what now? Oh no. What was outside? Are you sure there wasn't anyone else at the ranch, Your Highness? No, the place looked empty. Although I did later see a worker pull up with a loaded wagon when a courier came asking about milk shipments. He caused a little bit of a scene when the Sheikah force started inspecting it. That worker must have been somewhere else on the ranch, I suppose. The ranch is pretty large. Said worker was inside a building on the other side. It's quite understandable she wouldn't have seen him until later. Crap, this really doesn't give me a whole lot to work with. Did I ask something else? The paper animation. the little taps on the paper. Where were the victim and the killer at this time? The ranch owner was in front of a little table that is directly across from the entrance door. The defendant was right in front of him and quickly fainted after her attack. A large pool of blood started forming where the victim was. I had a rather good view of the whole scene. Right. It is as unfortunate as it is fortunate that you can see the whole thing in such detail. Now, please continue. Well, I have to try. Well, if you were there alone, how can we know you didn't do it? Accusing the princess? Pathetic. The defense is truly grasping at straws. You fool! You think a child could overpower a grown adult, one who does hard manual labor every day? And besides, why would the princess even want to take the life of a measly ranch owner? And not just any ranch owner, one that the crown had a most successful business relationship with. Idiotic. Simply idiotic. Well, maybe the crown wanted the ranch for themselves. As the defense lost their mind, cease this line of questioning immediately. Perhaps a penalty will disabuse the defense from further unsubstantiated accusations. I can't say words that are too big, apparently. No! No? Then perhaps the defense wants to bid farewell to their head. I hear traitors are dealt with swiftly these days. Gulp. I extend my most sincere apologies. I don't know what came over me. Nonetheless, I believe a penalty is still very much warranted. No! Well, that was a stupid thing to say. There is definitely something off about her statement, though. Did I ask something else? Yeah. I got a penalty because of you guys. You peer pressured me into picking that option. But the one comment about it. The singular comment. Are you sure you got a good look then, Your Highness? You didn't look away in panic? The princess was very brave to take control of the situation the way she did. There is no need to doubt what she saw. Ah, yes, I suppose what she did was admirable. If only we had arrived earlier. Your Highness, don't blame yourself for this. If you'd arrived earlier, you could have been the one that got attacked. Huh! So you would have lashed out at anyone trying to stop you, huh? Despicable. That's not what she meant, and you know it. Princess, please go on. I will say that I do appreciate this not doing the screen flashing that Ace Attorney does, like the white screen flashing non-stop. They'd have all the sound effects and everything that like go with it, but they don't actually do that, which I think is a good idea. Because those were a little rough sometimes. I heard that Talon and his daughter were incredibly kind. I cannot believe she would... You think he's gonna lose and just like get sent back into like some weird Shadow Realm thing or something? Trust your heart, Your Highness. You know Malin didn't do this. What nonsense. Her heart? What do her organs have to do with anything? Oh, of course. Evidence and testimony be damned. Just because we feel the defendant must be innocent. Oh, well, if you're sure, then I declare today's verdict. Have you gone senile, old man? There was a white flash, but that's okay. It's not common. It was a joke, much like the arguments the defense has been presenting. I can't believe the princess would lie like this. Yeah, it really is shocking. You don't believe her, right? Even if she's the princess, that means nothing. I didn't do it. Trust authority or your best friend. I'll need something very concrete to disprove what the princess is saying. All right, chat, time to put our one IQ together. What do you got here? You think it's something about the bottle? Yeah, but what about the rag? I had that little romance from the left hand. Supposedly she wiped the saw clean with this. I get what you're saying, but I'm not sure like what text box this goes into. I understand what you're saying, but I'm trying to like connect it to one of these comments that she made, you know? Sorry, I have to try it once. This evidence will blow the case wide open. That's your attorney's badge. Don't you see, Judge? He's an attorney. Attorneys are very smart. Clearly, we should listen to everything he says. We should? No! My heart. It's like an order thing. It's nothing too crazy. No later than 8. Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying now. Okay. Yeah, I see it. Your Honor, Your Highness, I believe I found something that doesn't quite match up with the facts. How dare you question the print? Well, let the defense speak, prosecutor. Yeah, the music in this is really good. I think I see why he desperately wanted to prevent this cross-examination now. Your Highness, you stated that you arrived at the ranch shortly after 8 a.m., correct? Yes, the visit was scheduled for 8:30 exactly, but we were quite a bit early. I see. That makes something you mentioned quite impossible. As stated by the autopsy report, the victim definitely died before 8 a.m. Did it? I mean, I would say just exactly at 8, but you know, it's okay. You couldn't have seen the defendant attack the ranch owner when you arrived, because the victim was already dead by then. Order, order. Yes, you really caught her in a lie. Your Highness, what is the meaning of this? While I'll wholeheartedly respect and serve the crown, I will nonetheless not tolerate lies in my court. I have not lied, I suppose I did not see the exact moment it happened. I guess I only thought I did. The classic Ace Attorney person is completely wrong and gets away with it. Princess, this is a matter of life and death. I definitely saw the defendant there, though, along with the body. There is no one else who could have done it. I remember all the other details correctly. The body's on the floor, the pool of blood. You have to believe me. Perhaps it'll be best if Her Highness revises her testimony. That's not good. There's still not enough doubt to overturn this testimony. I'll have to find something else or this case will be over. Okay, new testimony. What I actually saw. I'm sorry for embellishing the truth a little bit. I did not see the actual moment of the attack, but it had to have happened shortly before I went into the ranch house. Miss Mallon and her father were the only ones at the scene of the crime, so she must be the culprit. Oh, we got a short one, huh? Just completely lied, by the way. You only saw the aftermath of the scene, not the actual crime being committed. Very well. Hopefully there are no issues in your testimony this time. Defense, it is time for your cross-examination. Naturally, Your Honor. Dragmeyer still looks pretty angry. I bet he didn't expect such a blatant contradiction to pop up. If I could just find another one like that, the princess's testimony would become completely untrustworthy in the eyes of the judge. He didn't say much. The like cross-examination text all being in the Zelda font is pretty good too. Hylian font? I think that's what it is, right? Yeah, we probably just have to press a bit. Why did you do that, Your Highness? There's a life on the line here. I really am sorry. I suppose I got a bit too excited about being a witness in an actual murder trial. Really now? Most people hate testifying. Yes, well, the life of a princess is rather boring, you know? This is quite the break from the routine for me. Just get a hobby then. I did not see the actual moment of the attack. In that case, it can't be conclusively proven that the defendant did it. Defense, did you exhaust your singular brain cell on that last contradiction you found? No, they know! He knows! We used up our one combined brain cell to solve that. There's a Death Mountain's worth of evidence pointing to the defendant. Just because no one saw the actual moment of the crime doesn't mean anyone else could have done it. I think you're making a Death Mountain out of a Death Molehill. Thank you, Link. But it had to have happened shortly before I went into the ranch house. How can you be so sure of that, Princess? Well, when I entered the ranch house, the victim still had the murder weapon embedded into his body. What? It is obvious what that means, is it not? The killer did not even have enough time to try and hide the weapon. Yes, I might not have seen the murder firsthand, but I must have been very close to doing so. Oh my. This seems like very important detail. I think it would be advisable for Her Highness to amend her testimony. Certainly, Your Honor. Interesting. Dragmeiler certainly doesn't look very happy about this development, does he? Thinking about it, I might just know why. The murder weapon was still stuck into the victim's body after all. We'll just press for funsies, even though it's definitely this. It doesn't necessarily mean that my client was the one to do it, though. What if someone else snuck in before Malin and the princess arrived? Well, I suppose. Longlawn Ranch is surrounded by high walls, and the only way in is through a self-locking gate. Not very many people have a key to that gate, just the personnel and the crown. Well, someone could have forced their way in. If you wish to propose such a possibility, you must substantiate it with evidence. You have any proof that another person showed up to the ranch house before the princess? I mean, wasn't he there before? That's after the crime. No, this was made after, wasn't it? Unless I'm misunderstanding. Oh yeah. Of course I do. The piece of evidence that shows another person was at the scene of the crime is... this. These are the traces of another person on the scene. Ha. That just shows you have no trace of evidence to go on. Yes, defense, I'm afraid I can't really trace your logic. Ah, well, you see, please try to keep at least a trace amount of credibility. Thanks, Owie. Banzio forever. Miss Mellon and her father were the only ones at the scene of the crime, so she must have been the culprit. Are you sure Malin was the only person there other than the victim? From what I recall, there's an upstairs room at the ranch house. What if someone was hiding there? Don't be stupid, defense. If someone was hiding up there, the Sheikah force would have found them. I stood guard at the door the entire time. No one could have left. What if they jumped out a window? Do not be ridiculous. Those windows are very high up. Actually, those windows can't even be opened. They'd have to break one to leave. Right. Well, this is a little more plausible than the last testimony she gave. Yes, I suppose it matches the detective's account, doesn't it? Still, I feel like something here sticks out like a sore thumb. I mean, wouldn't it be the cloth? Because if it's already like stuck into the body, she wouldn't have had the time to clean it off, right? I'm a genius, actually. Smarter than Owie confirmed. I believe I found another reason to doubt the witness's words. It seems the prosecution sees what I'm getting at here. There was a bloodied cloth discovered at the scene of the crime. The prosecution has argued before that it was used to wipe the saw clean. If the princess saw the saw lodged into Talon's body and the crime scene was left intact, then it couldn't have been wiped! Well, Prosecutor Dragmeyer, care to explain? Ah. This is most perplexing, Your Highness. Are you sure that's what you saw? Well, maybe the princess decided to pull the saw out in the valiant yet futile attempt to save the victim, and then wipe the blade clean. That would be almost like framing the defendant. Of course I did no such thing. I made sure the crime scene stayed intact. I guess I must have made up the memory about the saw sticking out of Mr. Talon as well. She's the worst one I've seen so far. You idiotic girl! Do you even realize what you've done to your bumbling? I am sorry. I was just so excited to stand as a witness in court just this once. Whenever I try telling my father about anything, he seems so disinterested. Just this once, I wanted to feel listened to. The defendant it is. It is clear that she did it. I just wanted to play a larger part in her capture. I am sorry for the trouble I have caused you all. Well, she was worthless. She didn't really help much here. Your Highness, the court is no place for silly games. As it stands, I'm afraid we'll have to strike your statements from the court record completely. Yes, I did it. The prosecution lost their key witness. No, please wait. I have more to say. I was wrong about the crime scene, but I still have not testified about what I saw afterwards. Oh my gosh. Bah! Why would we care about that? It's best that you leave and stop damaging my case with your idiocy. Idiocy? What? How do you say that? Was that correct? Or how do you say that? I've never heard it said like that. I'm stupid. What was the word? I'm Googling it. No, I had it right. Okay. Even if you are not interested in my words, you might be interested in the evidence I found. What? Huh? Evidence? Of course. While the Sheikah force investigated inside the ranch house, I looked around the rest of the ranch on my own. Sheikah, did you know about this? Of course I did. You did? I'll have your head for this. Order. What is the meaning of this, detective? Why have you withheld this from the court? It's quite simple. The princess specifically requested to present her finding on her own. What? And you agreed to this? This court is not some playground where children decide when evidence should be presented just because they have a crown. He's being rude about it, but I can't help but agree with Dragmire on this one. Also, I don't really buy this story. There's no way Impa would have allowed this. Believe me, I wasn't thrilled with the request either. However, after seeing the evidence in question, I didn't think it would be at all important to the case. Thus, I let the princess have her fun. I'm gonna turn my air conditioner back on. Give me a second. It's a little too hot in this room. This is highly, highly irregular. I'm not sure how to feel about this. Prosecutor? Naturally, I object to this nonsense. If the detective thinks it's irrelevant, then this is probably just a waste of time. All the evidence points to the defendant. It's still clear that she did it even without the witness at the scene. I see. Defense? What do we do? If we object to presenting the evidence, then Dragmire loses his key witness. Plus, whatever the princess presents could be bad for our case too. So we should agree with the prosecution? Well, on the other hand, we don't really have much to go on. This could be our only lead left. Well, don't keep us waiting. Surely you won't throw away all the progress you've made thus far. Let's have it for funsies. The defense requests that the evidence be presented. What? While I agree that the situation is irregular, we should still examine all evidence available. It would be silly to dismiss it as irrelevant without even seeing what it is. I do believe you have a point, defense. However, I must warn you. In order to admit this piece of evidence into the court record, the princess's statement that she found it somewhere away from the scene has to be admitted as testimony. Yes, Your Honor, I am well aware. Hi, Gamma. I'm in court. I'm in a courtroom. The defense wishes to give the princess just one more chance. Of all the idiotic foolish... Order. Very well, then. Your Highness, please testify once more about the new piece of evidence you found during your investigation. This is insanely crazy. It's been an hour and a half, and it's been just a Phoenix Wright case. It has been literally like 1-to-1 in the style perfectly. It's awesome. The music remixes are the best part so far. They're like in Phoenix Wright like style, but they're actually like Zelda melodies and like areas and dungeons and stuff. It's been really cool so far. I know there's nothing playing right now. The princess should understand the gravity of the situation at hand now. I just hope this new evidence isn't damaging to our case. So just to catch you up, I have an attorney's badge. Malin is got arrested because they think that she killed her dad. The dad's dead, by the way. He died at no later than 8 a.m. from a sharp metal object. This is the supposed murdered weapon. Here's the ranch inventory. There was milk shipments, a cloth with blood on it, and a perfume bottle on the table. And that's all I got so far. Yeah, the poses and stuff. That's Ingo. Also, the like Sheikah font and everything. My findings. Oh god, the music's going faster now. We're in the second testimony music now. I wish to express my most heartfelt apologies for my mistakes in the earlier testimony. Upon entering the ranch house, I saw the defendant passed out in front of the victim who was bleeding out. I stood guard at the entrance of the ranch house until the Sheikah force arrived. Once the Sheikah started investigating the crime scene, I decided to take a look around the ranch. While I was walking near the silo, I noticed a strong odor in the air. I had to stop to see where it was coming from. I followed the scent and found a burned out fire nearby and a small, nearly empty bottle of lamp oil. I, of course, took the bottle straight to the head detective. Great. Yeah, there's been a couple cool objection moments, but nothing too crazy yet. And here it is, the oil bottle I found. Is something wrong? Oh no, this might actually be completely irrelevant. Yes, well... Of course there is, foolish girl! This has nothing to do with anything! Your great finding is some random fire on a ranch? Please! What next? Are you going to declare every rake on the premises suspicious? His laugh every single time. The prosecution will calm down. This is bad. Your Honor, despite the fact that this evidence might not seem to add anything at the moment, the defense still asserts its right to a cross-examination. Yeah, the laugh has been used perfectly at some points already. Some straws have been grasped. Why must you insist on this charade, defense? The princess has merely recounted the same view as the crime scene as the head detective. You haven't been able to find any contradictions in her statements. I believe that there might be a way to tie the princess's new evidence into the case. Ridiculous! Regardless of what the prosecution thinks, the defense does have a right to a cross-examination. The court admits the oil bottle into evidence. Yippee. I just really hope that this isn't a complete waste of time, defense. Found at the ranch near a burned out fire has a tiny bit of oil inside. Awesome. For both your own sake and your client's. Time for a cross-examination. Check out this UI here. I wish to express my most heartfelt apologies for my mistakes in the earlier testimony. They really got everything down. Like, down perfectly. Like, I got immediately countered. There's no need to press the princess on her apology. You already wasted the chance to throw out her testimony. Yes, defense. Please get to the point. Yikes. Upon entering the ranch house, I saw the defendant pass out in front of the victim who was bleeding out. Is there anything else in the room? Only the beautiful little crystal bottle I mentioned before. The house was rather barren. Most of our things are on the top floor since the downstairs room is mostly used for ranch business these days. And the occasional game. Ah, of course! Dad's famous Cucko game. The good old days. Is the defense done reminiscing? There will be plenty of time to do that when the defendant's behind bars. Yeah, the music's so good in this. I'm just trying to distract myself from the fact that there's nothing to latch onto here. Until the Sheikah force arrived. Did anything happen during that time? No, not that I recall. The guards did occasionally protest it and ask me to let them take over, but I held my stand. While commendable in theory, staying in the same room as a dangerous killer isn't very wise. What if she woke up and lashed out at you? Sweet, highly up above. That thought did not occur to me. Ah, of course not! Foolish girl! But the guards did stand close by. I would have been safe. Wonderful to see how much faith our princess has in our royal guard. Yes, of course I do. In any case, once the Sheikah started investigating the crime scene, I decided to take a look around the ranch. You didn't just go home? The royal visitation was supposed to last a lot longer. Father was not expecting us back at the castle until much later. I came to the ranch to examine the horses, so I suppose I could at least do that in the meantime. This is my favorite animation, is like this freaking like paper slap. How long did it take the Sheikah to arrive at the scene? It does not take very long to make the trip from Hyrule Castle Town to Lon Lon Ranch. I cannot imagine it was more than 20 minutes. That is pretty fast, although I imagine the fact that the princess was involved helped speed it up. Slowpokes, I would have been there in half that time, running backwards even. I suppose it's no surprise though. Hylian horses are naturally inferior to our fine Gerudo's steeds. The Gerudo buy horses from our ranch too. Just don't bother, he's trying to rile you up. While I was walking near the silo, I noticed a strong odor in the air. I had to stop to see where it was coming from. What was the smell like? Oh, it was awful! A really terrible stench. Surely you don't mean to say they found the smell of horse manure suspicious. What is this? This is a Zelda Ace Attorney hack. Do not be ridiculous! The smell is not coming from the horses? I followed the scent and found a burned out fire nearby and a small, nearly empty bottle of lamp oil. It's really good so far. A fire, huh? Now, let me remind you, Defense, that there's any number of reasons why a fire could have been there. You can still feel the cold grasp of your death early in the morning. Princess, how long would you estimate the fire had been out before you found it? Ah, right. There was still smoke rising out of the ashes, so it must have been put out recently. Or around the time of the crime. So someone prepared their breakfast there. I repeat, this fire is irrelevant. I think he's realized the same thing I did. Well, who was it? Who could have lit that fire anyway? It would have to have been the ranch worker who was putting the milk shipment together at the time. It was almost certainly him. If you really want to ask about his little barbecue, you might just get your wish soon. Doesn't sound like it was very appetizing. But without anything concrete to pin on him, he'll just be able to brush it off. I, of course, took the bottle straight to the head detective. Right, and she allowed you to present it. Well, I was the one to find it, and since I was going to the trial anyway. Utter ridiculousness. Yes. Please make this the last time you do something like this, Your Highness. Proper procedures exist for a reason. Yes, I understand. Slam. Defense, I believe that is enough. It doesn't seem like you're getting any closer to finding a connection between this fire and the crime at all. No, I suppose not, Your Honor. Naturally, I said this was a waste of time from the beginning. In that case, the cross-examination is over. Thank you for your time, Your Highness. I assume you have no more revelations to share with us? No, I do not. I really thought the fire would be important. Leave my sight! Enough! Your Highness, if you'd allow me to escort you back to Hyrule Castle. Very well. Now that the princess's little game is over, we should move this along. The prosecution's stance is still the same, of course. We maintain that the evidence on its own is enough to convict the defendant. I do believe I'm nearly ready to hand down my verdict. But, Your Honor, There's nothing that definitely shows that Mallet committed the crime. This is all circumstantial. There's no way she could kill her own father. Ah, that's an excellent point, defense. The prosecution has yet to elaborate on the defendant's motive. Patricide is not something a person commits lightly. Ah, I did briefly touch on the subject during my opening statement, but naturally, the prosecution is fully prepared to elaborate on the matter. I would like to call in my third witness. That has to be that ranch worker. Before calling him in, though, the prosecution requests a brief recess to prepare. I thought you said you were already prepared. Maybe he wants to double check that his new witness won't pull anything weird like the princess did. Hi, Canner. Very well. I do believe a break would benefit us all. This court will reconvene after a 15-minute recess. Court is adjourned. Alright, you're all on break for 15 minutes. You can go outside and play on the soccer field or whatever for a couple minutes. Okay? Just come back, okay? I know we don't have a fence around the place, but don't run off, okay? It's not going all that well, is it? No, I think that went about as well as it could have actually, given the circumstances. We exposed the worst of the princess's testimony is untrue. Ugh! I can't believe she just makes stuff up like that. Yeah, that was surprising. Still, the issue is that we didn't manage to strike the core of the argument. If only there was anyone else in the house. Now, there is no need to look so glum. Detective, aren't you supposed to be escorting the princess back? Harriet is being prepared. I thought I'd drop by in the meantime. Really managed to make Dragmire furious, you know. I have? If you listen carefully, you might just be able to hear him ranting over in the prosecutor's lobby. Ah! He's really giving his upcoming witness a grilling. Expect him to try to shut you down as fast as he can. Well, that would be worrying if I had anything you could shut down in the first place, I guess. Oh? What you do? What do you mean? Oh, come on now. I'm talking about the princess's grand discovery, of course. A fire? I wasn't able to do anything with that. You really think it's relevant? Don't get me wrong, at present I am convinced the girl did it. We investigated and came to this conclusion for a reason. But I am willing to explore every possibility. The fire is definitely a bit strange, and I dare say it might be your only way out of this. If I may be so bold, I think you should press the next witness on that topic hard. As the only other person working on the ranch at the time, he's the only one who could have lit that fire. If he is hiding something, I think that the court deserves to know. The thing is, the next testimony is about the motive. It's going to be difficult to bring up the fire again without Dragmire objecting. You have to make it work. As much as I don't like it, she's right. There really isn't a whole lot else to go on here. Well, thank you. Don't mention it. One last thing. You, ranch girl. Me? Try not to hold that testimony against the princess. Believe me, I am sure she was acting with the best of intentions in mind. You know the road to the dark realm is paved with those, right? Perhaps. It was definitely a serious lapse of judgment. One she will live to regret. Part of this comes from the fact that she's rather sheltered and inexperienced. After the sudden death of her older sister last year, she was thrust into the role of a heir very suddenly. What? The mysterious death of the firstborn Princess Zelda. Hyrule still grieves after the events of that day. And yet no one knows what exactly happened. In the void of information, conspiracy theories run amok, people blaming the royal guard, the Sheikah, and even the king himself. The princess will soon have a whole kingdom's worth of troubles on her shoulders. For a kingdom with a history as turbulent as ours is a lot to handle. The princess's conduct today probably won't help with the distrust some people have on the crown right now, though. She's wise beyond her years. She will learn and she will be better. The music's really good here. I simply ask that you don't think of her as an enemy. Whatever comes to this trial, she does not need more than she already has. Wow, she's so intense. I never expected to see Impa get so emotional. I guess all this is why she decided to take the blame for the princess's impromptu investigation. Detective Impa! Hello, soldier. What is it, soldier? I'm quite busy at the moment, so please be quick. The investigation team back at the ranch just sent a word of a new development. Something about a milk shipment being returned to the ranch because of a wrong address. They're asking you to come over to see it. Oh, those idiots. I don't have time for this. Send someone else. I have to escort the princess to the castle. Roger. Fine. That did remind me, though. I took this bottle of milk from a couple guards who were slacking on the job earlier. Here, ranch girl. Perhaps it'll help calm your nerves somewhat. Not to worry. It's still unopened. Oh, thank you. Too bad for those guards. You guys want some milk? You guys want some free milk from Lon Lon Ranch? Think about it. And come back with your answer within 10 seconds. Otherwise, I'm drinking it all. Otherwise, it will all be gone. Now then, I believe the princess's carriage should be prepared by now. You'll excuse me. Oh, well, never mind. She drank it all. I think I'm so nervous right now. Milk has just lost its flavor. Huh? Lost its flavor? But Lon Lon milk is always so tasty. Are you sure it's just nerves? Let me try some. Huh. You're right. I assume this would have come from one of yesterday's shipments. Probably. With the investigation at the ranch, there wouldn't be any today, so... Maybe it just isn't fresh? No, I don't think so. It doesn't really taste as if it's gone bad. Also, the guard said that one of yesterday's shipments was misaddressed, didn't he? And this is all handled by Ingo, wasn't it? I think there's something odd going on. I better make some notes about this in the court record. Apparently, one of the milk shipments was returned to the ranch due to it being misaddressed. From one of yesterday's shipments, Impa brought it in. Impa brought it during the recess. It seems strangely tasteless. Murder milk. Murder milk. Hi, Ryan. Yeah, Ingo's suspicious milk. Ryan, I'm playing Ace Attorney. Do not worry, it only does this white screen flash very rarely. Extremely rarely, like 3 times in the last 2 hours. It's not like flashing like multiple times, it's just like 1 time and then it's over. Defense, the court is about to reconvene. Escort your client back to the courtroom at once. So it comes down to this. The conclusion's approaching. Time to turn this situation around. Yeah, this is super good. I've been healed. We're back to full health. Court is back in session for the trial of Malin of Lon Lon Ranch. I trust that the prosecution's final witness is ready. Naturally, I've personally seen to it that there will be no foolishness this time around. Hopefully his ears are intact. I'm gonna reset the audio. As we discussed before the recess, having established the opportunity and means for the defendant to have committed the murder, only one matter remains. A matter of motive, for naturally such a heinous crime couldn't have been the result of mere happenstance. The prosecution believes that the defendant had a deep desire that pushed her to patricide. Our next witness can shed light on the matter. Fascinating. Very well. Please proceed. The prosecution calls for the ranch worker Ingo to the stand. Freaking Ingo. Ah, it's funny to see Mr. Ingo in such fancy clothes. Oh? Yeah, he almost always just wears his work dungarees. Almost like looking at a different person. Well, I guess he wanted to dress up for court and he wouldn't want to get this nice outfit dirty by working in it. Quiet, defense! Witness, state your name and occupation. The music. Your Honor, a great honorable prosecutor. My name is Ingo. I mind Lon Lon Ranch. Mine? What does that entail exactly? The music? I'm mostly there to work on the structures and equipment. The owner and his daughter are the ones who tend to the animals to take care of orders. How long have you been working at the ranch? It'll be several years at this point. There have been others who came and went, but I, Ingo, have preserved through all the hardships. Sounds like he wants a medal for it. Well, he does get a bit pompous at times, and Mr. Ingo really is a great help. He built the ranch's silos single-handedly. Whoa, that's some dedication. Very well, given that you're clearly an important employee, you are privy to some inside information, is that correct? Yes, the ranch owner shared all the big plans with me. He trusted me implicitly. He used to say that we're like a big family. That sounds lovely. That sounds like a red flag that you're gonna be getting loads of unpaid overtime. Evidently, not every member of your so-called family felt the same way, though, did they? It hurts to do this, but I have no choice. Hear my story, honorable court of law. The matter of motive. Just a couple of days ago, the owner, Talon, partially signed the ranch over to his daughter, Malin. Talon became a life tenant with him. Malin meant to inherit all of the assets after his death. As long as Talon lived, Malin could not sell the ranch. It's simple, isn't it? The girl killed Talon to get full ownership and leave the dingy ranch life behind. It's appealing how ungrateful she is after all Talon did for her. He's freaking out. And there you have it, testimony from a man who just lost everything. It's truly tragic to witness yet another family torn apart by greed. We have evidence, we have the defendant caught red-handed at the scene of a crime, and now we have a motive. How do we know he's telling the truth? Ah! I have, of course, verified the witness's testimony. As per the law, all inheritance documents must be filed at the Castletown Notary Office to be considered valid. I saw fit to prepare this one for the trial. The prosecution would like to submit the Lon Lon Ranch inheritance document into evidence. Wow. Mr. Ingo, why would you? Malin will inherit the ranch if she is unable to divide the deed between the crown and the remaining employees. Interesting. Hi, Rye. What's up, Rye? Yeah, remaining employees, huh? Interesting. A little interesting. Ingo, age 44, smarmy man who works on the ranch, usually in his work clothes, but he's dressed up nicely for court. You should pass judgment now, Judge. The defense has nothing. Luigi! Yeah, Mario's dead. Sorry. He's dead. No more Mario ever again. I would like to cross-examine the witness. There are a few more details I feel are relevant. But of course, ask whatever you'd like. I, the hard-working Ingo, can handle it. Very well, defense. Please begin. I need to play more Death Stranding eventually. I want to at least beat the first game and be ready for the second one when it comes out on PC in 5 years. What's your favorite part of it so far? Mine was like how the world looked. Yeah, I heard DS2 is pretty good so far. I've not heard anything like super bad about it. Unlike the first game where people are like, ah, it's a walking sim, you know? You can't like it, there's no gameplay. Now people have accepted that, and it's just like, the second game feels a lot more positive reception-wise, you know? I'm gonna press. I'm gonna find out what's going on with Luigi here. How long ago was this exactly? 4 days. I'm not sure of the exact date. Had it been planned for a long time? Alan was getting on in years. Better take care of the matter sooner than later, eh? Alan? He is telling the truth. Father scheduled a visit to the notary office about a week ago. And what do you mean by partly witness? Yeah, I also agree that it's untrue. Alan became a lieutenant with Madeline meant to inherit all the assets after his death. So Malin hadn't become the ranch owner yet. Wow, of course not! Haven't you heard all the stories making rounds recently? So many ungrateful brats throwing their old folks into retirement homes the moment ownership signed to them. Alan was no fool. I myself convinced him that was the safer option. If the girl was up to some chicanery, he would always revert his decision. That's horrible, I'd never do that. As much as I'd like to believe that, you did much worse by killing him. Children these days, you feed them, you raise them, and they pull a stunt like this as soon as you give them an inch over yourself. I must concur, the younger generation is horrible. What? Why did he look at me while saying that? Anyway, what that meant was, as long as Talon lived, Malin could not sell the ranch. But why would Malin want to sell the ranch right now? Why wouldn't she want to? Why would a pretty little girl like her want to work on some dingy ranch? It'd be much better if she sold the old place and used the money to move the castle town. That's not true. I love working with the animals. I wouldn't leave them for anything. Ah! She's often slacking on the job while I, the hardworking Ingo, have to cover for her. I guess the Deku nut doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say. And Talon loved to sleep on the job, too. Oh, I do recall a quite funny story about the Lon ranch owner blocking the side entrance to Hyrule Castle for an entire day once. The guards couldn't wake him up. It took a particularly vocal Kuko, apparently. Ah, jeez. Well, there you go. I am the real reason why the ranch is such renown. Me, the hard-working Ingo. Link, that's not true at all. I know, but how do I stop this? The animation is so funny of him, like, getting close to the camera. You really think Malin would go that far? I don't want to think it, but clearly the events speak for themselves, don't they? Why wouldn't she just wait a few more years then? Talon was getting older. Perhaps she knew more and more work would be piling on her. But really, how am I supposed to know? Ask her! That's alright. Well, if Malin didn't want to work, wouldn't she have done this earlier? As Talon's only child, she still inherit the ranch. That's where you're wrong. For a while, Talon's planned to split the ranch between the girl and the crown. He was a patriotic man. He knew how much those horses meant to the royal guard. I wish he hadn't changed his mind now. Is this true? Yes. Father's previous inheritance document did work that way. How admirable. I guess familial bonds won over his drive to help the kingdom. Truly a shame. Yes, naturally, the girl wanted the whole thing should she bided her time. I just love this animation. It's so good. Just like the finger tap. It is a long finger. It is. Me when I anti-F and Tunker. Also true. Wait just a moment. There's one more problem with the timing that I'd like to explain. That I'd like the witness to explain. Why would Malin have planned the murder for the day of the royal visitation specifically? More people around means more witnesses. You think she would have chosen any other day? Oh, did I forget to mention this? I overheard Talon arguing with her that very morning. He was telling her that he'd change his mind again. He was planning to tell the king that he'd be signing the ranch over to the crown. After the visitation was over, he'd head to the castle town to change the inheritance back to the original split. What? Despite the victim's wishy-washiness, it would appear that he didn't make the right choice in the end. And because of that choice, if the defendant wanted to get the ranch, she had no time to waste that day. Is this true too? Absolutely not. Father wasn't planning to do that, and there was no argument either. What to do about this argument then? There was an argument about the inheritance. That sounds like an important fact to me. The defense requested be added to the testimony. Very well. Witness, please do so. I'd be happy to, Your Honor. The sound effect. About what time did this happen? First thing in the morning, I was heading out to the silo to start the day's work. Yeah, I know, right? I had just walked out to the front door of the ranch house when I heard some yelling erupt behind me. Do you remember any specifics about what was said? Oh yes, it surprised me enough that I stopped to listen for a minute. It was all like, I'm real sorry, Madeline, but the most important thing is to make sure the king will always have a steady supply of quality horses. I don't care, what about me, father? How can you do this to me? Malin, this isn't just about you, it's for the good of the entire kingdom. But what am I supposed to do? I can't move up in life if I'm stuck on this dump of a ranch forever. I thought you loved the ranch. All the animals here, and Ingo's always around to help out with the chores too. He's pretty great, isn't he? Yeah, Ingo's awesome, but I still hate you for this. This isn't over. What a stirring reenactment. I will keep my thoughts on the witness's acting skills to myself. There's no way this actually happened, though. Malin would never want to sell the ranch. Oh, of course she'd say that now, you buffoon. Remember, she's under suspicion for murder. We can't trust the things she says. Well, I trust her, but the judge probably doesn't right now, and that's unfortunately what matters. Do I have anything in the court record that can refute this story? If you ask me, this whole inheritance issue could have been avoided if the crown wasn't so soft. In Gerudo Desert, there would be no question that the fortress may seize whatever it desired. That's just messed up. No matter, continue your testimony, farmhand. Share with us the true nature of the defendant. A photo? It's just a childhood photo. I think you misunderstood it. This isn't like a photo before the murder. This is like a childhood photo. It'll probably be relevant later, but I'm not sure how that's relevant right now. I wonder if this is a second page of evidence. What? No, you hold it! That man gave everything for her! He's gotten so many expensive presents over the years. Just look at that golden necklace she's wearing. That man spoiled her rotten. In fact, I think I saw another present he was meaning to give her on the very day he was killed. Another gift? Right, yes, a little bottle of perfume, I believe. It's horrible. Talon was such a kind man. What happened to him is despicable. Was that last statement important? Your Honor, the defense wishes to add that statement about the perfume to the testimony. Ah! What are you doing, trying to implicate the defendant even harder? I think it's an important detail. The perfume is irrelevant, but I suppose the prosecution has no objectives to strengthening our case. Very well, witness. Please add what you just said to your testimony. Yeah, it wasn't for her. Like, we already established that it was for Zelda. Yeah, we already went over that, but I'm gonna press just for funsies, just to read the dialogue. Where did you see this? I think it was just lying around the ranch house. Talon probably intended to give it to Malin on the day she was killed. You mean this witness? Why, yes, that's exactly it. Looks very expensive. If only Talon had spent much of his salary for me, the hard-working Ingo. I get up and leave to do the work at the break of dawn every day, you know. What's your relationship with this guy anyway? Well, he's been employed and living with us on the ranch for as long as I can remember, really. You know, I don't think he's ever skipped a day of work thinking about it. Not a single one? Talk about dedication. But even so, something is very much off here. Witness! What is it? Just to confirm, you say that this bottle of perfume was bought from Malin by her father, correct? What else would it be for? I assure you, Talon wasn't the type to indulge in perfumes, far from it. Well, you're wrong, witness. Oh, is that so? Was the ranch owner truly a perfume connoisseur? No, Your Honor. This bottle of perfume was bought for the princess! So what, defense? Sure, it's technically a contradiction, but what is the purpose of this bottle change? Yes, defense, I admit I am confused as well. Please explain why this point is important. Earlier in the trial, Malin mentioned that Talon brought this perfume in preparation last minute. Isn't that right, Malin? It sure is. We had a gift for the king prepared when the news arrived that it would actually be the princess making the visitation. Father quickly rode out in the town to get a new gift. This info puts one thing into question. What? It would be somebody's movements, right? The music. The music's so awesome in this. I think we're gonna go with somebody's movements here. Somebody's movements around the ranch are put into serious doubt. Someone's? Well, don't keep us waiting then, defense. Who is this person? Naturally, the person whose movements became suspect is... Well, there's only two people here. there's only 2 choices. The witness himself. If you recall, this bottle of perfume, which had just been purchased, was found at the crime scene. A crime scene the witness supposedly never went to. You shouldn't have known about the bottle. Ah! Order! Order! The defense raises a very valid point. You simpleton! What is the meaning of this? Well, witness, did you get to the scene of the crime at any point? No, of course I didn't. I was working in the silo all day. I remember I saw the gift the other day before the crime. The girl is lying. Talon must have gotten the gift the day before. You're the one who's lying. Father didn't leave the ranch at all that day. One word's against another. Defense? You have any way to prove that your version of the events is true? Well, it's not on here. I doubt it would be, but I'm just saying. I mean, the receipt, probably. When you buy something, you usually get a receipt, and the receipt always shows the date of purchase. It might still be at the ranch house. I say we send someone out to look for it. Father never throws receipts away. We have a drawer full of them. The perfume one should be right on top. I believe this idea has some merit. Soldiers, rush out to the ranch house immediately and search for that receipt. Your Honor? Yes? What is it, soldier? We have just received the receipt from the team stationed at the crime scene. Very well, thank you. I shall now read it out. A lot writing on this. From Tingle's Mysterious Smells. Ah, yes, I think I've seen that store. It's that eccentric looking place in the back alley. You couldn't miss the blinding neon colors if you tried. It's an utter eyesore. The gall of this nobody running a monopoly on Hylian perfume is preposterous. Perhaps, but back to the matter at hand. The nerve of that dunderhead! Why would anyone ever shop at a store where the owner calls every other customer a fairy? Prosecutor? And the balloons! Oh, the balloons! That fool popped one right in my face! Prosecutor Dragmeyer, enough! Continuing on, purchase item 1 bottle of Rosy Rupeeland. Oh my! This is quite the price. Why, I would have to... Your Honor, please! The date of purchase! Ah, yes, right, date of purchase. Why, it's March 16th, the day of the murder! Yeah! Order! Order! Yes, we got him! Whew, I think we're finally getting somewhere. Ah! This still doesn't mean anything. Perhaps the witness briefly went back to the ranch house for something and saw the bottle then. Yes! Yes, that's it! I was getting thirsty, so I went back to get a drink. I must have seen the bottle then. Oh, come on! You think we're gonna believe that? You have any proof that he didn't? Well, I believe this calls for a further testimony. As the witness now claims to have visited the crime scene shortly before the murder, we should learn of his exact movements that day. Ah, my movements? Well, alright, there's not a whole lot to say though. Unfortunately, he managed to weasel out of that. But this next testimony will be full of lies. This is my chance. I know, it's got like the pacing down perfectly, the sound effects, how often they're used, the UI, everything. My non-suspicious movements. As already stated, I had volunteered to work in the silo. At one point, I briefly went back to the ranch house to get myself a glass of water. I went back to the silo right after that and stayed there until the courier came. I haven't been back to the ranch house at all since then. At some point, the detective came and told me what happened. Wow, was that detective one fine woman. Thanks, Ingo. That's on the record. See, I haven't done anything to warrant suspicion. Eat my shoes, you brat. I'll pass. There has to be something wrong in there. You can't put a flawless story together that quickly. What were you doing? Working on shipments and fulfilling orders. We send out crates of milk to milk bars all across the kingdom every day, you know. Milk bars? Naturally, everyone loves a good drink, you know. And our milk is renowned as the best there is. I hear some others water theirs down. Despicable. I see. I think you said earlier that your job is to work on the structures and equipment, though. Water's down, huh? Alan and the girl would unusually be the ones overseeing milk orders. However, since the royal visitation was happening that day, I felt they needed their minds unoccupied, so I took it upon myself to do it this time. After the murder, I got scared that Toshika Force's investigation would delay the shipment and I, the great Ingo, would get the blame. Thankfully, it all went through fine. Yeah, and you were so concerned with sending it off quickly that you wrote the wrong delivery address on it. Ah, you Hylians, ridiculous. Getting tipsy from something like milk? But you couldn't handle even a sip of the Gerudo's noble pursuit, a real man's drink. A real man's drink? Aren't most of the Gerudo women? Speaking of drinks, I believe the witness was talking about how he'd had gotten himself a glass of water. Yes, of course, moving all the heavy stuff around works up a sweat. You see, I got very thirsty and... went back to the ranch house to get myself a glass of water. You didn't think just to take a sip of the milk you were handling? No, they wouldn't be right. That milk was for the customers, you see. I just didn't want to get in any trouble. A truly honest man. How dare you suggest he would steal from his own workplace? Right. So what did you see at the house? Nothing much, I got my drink and left. Still had a lot of work to do, you see. I suppose I must have seen the perfume bottle then. In fact, yes, I remember it clearly now. It was there on the table, plain as day. Great. What happened after that, Liz? I went back to the asylum right after that and stayed there until the courier came. You were able to complete this so quickly on your own? Ah, you don't know the might of the great Ingo. Yeah. Wait, I get things done in no time. I did almost break my back getting those crates out to the silo, though. There's so many and all so heavy. It was like a puzzle in there. Anyways, that's not important. The point is, I haven't been back to the ranch house at all since then. Are you sure? Sure as can be, mahaha. You never went back in even after the crime was discovered? They wouldn't let me in! Preserving the crime scene or something such. I couldn't even get any of my things. After I was questioned, no one even gave me half a glance. I had to sleep in the stables that night. It was terrible. Is what he just said important? Yep, sure. Your Honor, I would like the witness to add his last statement to the testimony. His testimony. What? What are you trying to pull now? Very well. Witness, please amend your statement. Ah, fine. Whatever. Is that important in any way? The only thing I can think of is this. Like using this as like a campfire, right? Or something of the sort. Some sort of fire source. And you just stayed in an inn? Ah, what am I? Made of money? Think, boy, I'm just a simple ranch worker, you know? You lawyers always flaunting your wealth. Right, sorry. Not actually sorry. That one night would bankrupt this guy. Just look at what he's wearing. Attorney's badge? So true. Let's get a press statement on the detective. Can you elaborate? She's a hardworking woman who gets to the point and takes what she wants. Not to mention her impeccable fashion sense. What's not to love? That's not the part I wanted to elaborate on. Wow, he seems totally smitten with her. Sure does. I wonder how Impa feels about that. Perhaps when this short of a trial is over, I could. But no, it will have to wait. You thought you could distract me, did you? I, the genius ranch worker Ingo, see through your schemes. He's sticking to that story, huh? Yeah, it was a desperate fix, but it holds up surprisingly well. I can hardly believe this is the same Mr. Ingo I know. He's usually so nice. Time to press for more details. He's sure to slip up somewhere. There has to be a piece of evidence or a profile waiting to disprove what he's saying. Or a profile. How does that help? Okay. What? I knew a simple ranch worker couldn't concoct a flawless story. I've just found a gaping hole in it. Link, are you implying ranch workers are stupid? That's not what I meant. On the other hand, certain attorneys definitely are, since what you just presented is entirely meaningless. Oh sure, just gang up on me. Oh, you're saying the milk? Oh. Wait, why wouldn't he have his belongings? He works there. I get it now. I didn't read it correctly the first time. Witness? There's something seriously wrong with your testimony. What? What are you talking about? You say you couldn't get any of your belongings because they were all at the ranch house, correct? A ranch house you were not allowed to go in? That's right? Well, that would imply you should still be wearing your work clothes. Pardon me if I'm wrong, but those don't look like work clothes at all. Ah! The defense has a point. The witness appears pretty well dressed for court. I can't imagine he would want to sully these clothes during work. Well, what do you have to say to that? Yeah, this is awesome so far. Grr. Oh, of course. I can explain, it's simple. These are brand new, yes. On my way to the courthouse, I went shopping for a nice new outfit. After all, I couldn't very well show up to court dressed like a bum. Yes, defense, certain people have help dog. Modicum? Can't say that on Twitch. Of respect for the court and show up dressed appropriately. What's that supposed to mean? This is my finest Zora suit. Do you claim you bought these clothes after the crime? Is that correct? Very much so. This morning, in fact. Why do I need to repeat myself? He's such a liar. No! You buying those clothes today is simply impossible. What? Oh? How can you claim so? Defense, as you know, evidence is everything in court. Either prove that the witness couldn't have bought these clothes today or get out. It's literally right there. I would like to turn the court's attention to this. Ah! Why, this is one lovely pictograph. Ah, it reminds me of the... It reminds me of the days I spent with my grandson at the fishing pond. What is this pictograph, defense? Well, just look at what Ingo is wearing. This photo is from Malin's childhood, but Ingo is very clearly wearing the same outfit he has on right now. He couldn't have bought it today. Points. Ah! Order! I will have order. Why? The defense is absolutely correct. That's Ingo screaming in the background. I hope the witness has a good explanation for this. There, I think we finally got him. There's no way he can weasel out this time. Oh, unless someone weasels out for him. Ah, isn't it obvious? Naturally, the witness knew he would need to wear his nice clothes for the royal visitation that was scheduled for the day. He brought them to the silo in advance so he could quickly change just before the royal visitation's arrival. Oh? Oh! Oh! Yes, of course, I needed to be presentable after all. Can't look like a bum in front of the most important people in the kingdom. Wait a minute, this is insane. What kind of kangaroo court is this? The prosecution keeps making up excuses up on the spot. Ingo was clearly lying about buying these clothes before the trial. He's definitely trying to hide something. Your Honor, surely you won't accept this blatant perjury. Accept it, Judge. There can be no other explanation. Prosecution's explanation does seem plausible. What? However, the fact that the witness didn't simply say it himself and instead made up a lie about buying clothes is indeed very suspicious. Ah! Defense? The prosecution has posed that there is no other possible explanation for this contradiction. What is your opinion on the matter? on the matter. I don't know why I said that with an A at the end. Can the defense think of an alternative version of events? This is big. I really need to think this through. Ingo is acting really suspicious right now. He's desperately trying to patch up holes in his testimony to conceal his real movement. If it's not Malin, Ingo is the only other person who could have done this. I have to assume he did if I want to think Malin is innocent. With that in mind, why would Ingo change out of his work clothes? What happened to make it necessary? When Ingo killed Talon, his clothes must have gotten blood on them. He had to change into something else to hide his involvement. But then wouldn't the Shika force have found the clothes in the house? How could they have disappeared? the dang statue. That's it! This explains everything! I believe I can offer an alternative explanation. Nonsense. Judge, the defense spent far too long sitting in silence just now. They clearly have nothing. I call for a quick ruling. And not only can I explain it, but in fact, the defense formally accuses the witness of the murder. No! It's simple. The reason he had to swap his outfit and why he's been lying about the circumstances ever since is because it got stained with the victim's blood. Preposterous. If there was any discarded bloody clothes nearby, the Shika force would have found them and we'd be trying someone else for murder right now. Why are you are absolutely correct, prosecutor. Huh? Naturally, Ingo couldn't have left his bloody clothes lying around. And so he used this to dispose of them. Your Honor, cast your mind to the princess's last testimony. The princess's... the mysterious fire. Surely you just made yourself... You yourself made sure we all knew how meaningless her testimony was. And yet, with this new context in mind, it gains a completely new meaning. An empty bottle of lamp oil found by a burned out fire. Ingo used his lamp oil to quickly burn away his stained work clothes. Well, how about it, witness? My scenario explains everything. You killed Talon and then tried to hide it. This is... No! Hold on! What are you spouting here? Me kill Talon? You already know that's impossible! Testimony. Too busy for murder. Everything you said is wrong. I have no idea what you're on about. I have an alibi for the time of the crime. I just couldn't have done it. There's no way I could have completed those milk shipments, killed Talon, and tried to hide my involvement. The fire was just made for a quick breakfast. There's no mystery there. Stop trying to pin this on poor, innocent Ingo. He's innocent. Now, I shouldn't have to remind you, defense, but you yourself were surprised that Ingo was able to complete the shipment in time. Adding even more things for him to do that. Adding even more things for him to do in that time is preposterous. That's right. The great Ingo is efficient at his job, but not that efficient. No, it had to have been him. I'm sure of it. There must be some trick at play here, some kind of shortcut. I must find it. He wrote the wrong address on the shipments because he was in a hurry. I already know that, but I'm just gonna press everything. For fun. Surely my scenario is more plausible at this point than those panicked attempts to fix your story. What's more plausible isn't for you to decide, defense. It's the judge that makes the final call, and as long as his alibi stands, I can't imagine him siding with you. Yes, all of the loose ends have been tied up before... have to be tied up before a decision can be made. Witness, please continue. Yeah, they're all like Phoenix Wright styled, but they have Zelda melodies instead. You'll hear a lot of Zelda songs in it. Like Zelda melodies. Could you explain what the alibi is again? With pleasure. At the time of the crime, I was busy preparing that day's shipment of milk. That's hard work. I barely had enough time to get them done before the courier came to take them. The shipments were inspected by the Sheikah force as they were leaving the ranch. And as our resident detective has told us, they were found to be fully loaded up with bottles of milk. It's called, I have the title of the hack. I'm like almost done with it for the record. It's not very long, it's like 3 hours, apparently. Three-ish hours. It's in the stream title though. There's no way I could be the culprit. Oh, I disagree. There has to be a way. There must be. Would it have really taken that long to murder someone and burn the clothes? It would have taken long enough to definitely make the scheme feasible. Cleaning the shipments is a rather involved process. You have to milk the cows, clean the bottles, pour the milk into them, put them in the crates, and load those onto a wagon. I love working with the cows, but that part takes the longest because you only get a little at a time. Though as Mr. Ingo said, the whole thing really does take a while. Father and I usually have to work together to get it done in time for the courier's arrival. There you go, defense. Your own client knows this is the unshakable truth. Okay, so there's no way you could complete the shipments and also do the killing. In that case, there has to be some way for him to finish the work faster. I just have to find it. He had enough time for breakfast, but not enough to kill someone. Yes, of course. The breakfast was cooking while I kept working. Then I just quickly gobbled it up. There's no issue there. In fact, yes, I remember it even burned a bit because I wasn't completely paying attention to it. That's why I had to go get that glass of water too. You see, I had to wash it down after. What a convenient little explanation. There's not really super in-game ties. Besides the fact that like a fairy healed someone back from unconsciousness, that's really been the only thing. But for all I know, he did actually cook up a breakfast on a fire. He actually did cook up a breakfast on a fire of burning blood-soaked clothes. Ew. Continue, witness. You don't want to hear about your culinary adventures. Of course. My point is just what I've been telling you this whole time. Stop trying to pin this on poor innocent Ingo. The only people who could have done this are you and Malin. And I know Malin well enough to know she couldn't be the culprit. That leaves you as the perpetrator. Yes, by now we all know how much you value your friend. Let me remind you though that feelings don't matter at all here. Either show solid evidence that puts Ingo alibi into question or concede defeat. Is there any way you could have done the work faster? I'm not sure. It'd be nice if there was though. I could sleep in a little bit longer every day. Yeah, you think he would have shared it with you if he knew of one. What shortcut did you use, Ingo? I think he was just rushing through it all. The music stopped. Witness! Ah! What is it now? I heard an intriguing detail during the last recess. Seems the address on one of yesterday's milk shipments wasn't written correctly. You must have been rushing! That's how you did it! Bah! I haven't heard anything about an issue with a shipment address. But I'll play along. Suppose you're right about it. Writing an address only takes a few seconds. Even if it was used to a single swift stroke of the pen, it wouldn't have saved much time at all. Certainly not enough to both commit a murder and cover it up. He just filled it with water. He didn't fill it with milk, he filled it with water. Or at least a good chunk of water. Ingo must have rushed the entire shipment. By what method? You say he somehow completed the entire shipment more quickly? Then prove it with evidence. Unfortunately for you, defense, I must agree with the good prosecutor. This alone doesn't prove how enough time may have been saved. Don't you have anything else? Thought I had him for sure, but it looks like I'll need something stronger to really pin him down. The water. Ah, but did you though? Did you really complete those shipments properly? Defense, I shouldn't have to remind you that the Sheikah Force checked those boxes thoroughly. They were definitely full of milk bottles. Oh, I'm sure it looked that way. What are you getting at, defense? Here you go, Your Honor. Huh? Milk? For me? Are you trying to bribe the judge now? I didn't think you'd stoop so low. The crown will be informed of this. Oh, it's nothing like that. All I'm asking is that His Honor try tasting the milk. Just one little sip. This is highly irregular. But, to be honest, I could use a drink. All this talking does make one's throat dry, you know. You probably talk the least out of everyone here, though. Since the defense insists, I'll go ahead and take a sip. Is this what passes for milk these days? This almost tastes like water. Water? I have to agree, this is definitely not standard milk. As we've heard from the princess and the detective, Lon Lon Ranch is renowned for the quality of its products. There's no way people would say that about milk this lousy. Bah! Whatever. As if the unwashed masses would know the difference between quality and garbage. Where are you going with this, defense? It's simple, you see. I received this bottle from Detective Input, still unopened during the first recess. As we know, there were no milk shipments today, so this must have come from one of Ingo's shipments from yesterday. Ah! It's true that Ingo couldn't have murdered Talon and also completed the shipments on his own. Unless he cheated. Ingo watered down the milk to get the shipments down in time. Order! Order! Yes, I suppose that would work. Indeed, all he had to do was milk fewer of the cows to save enough time without ruining their taste too much. I guess he used about a 50-50 split of water and milk. This is... No! Talon. Let me stop you right there. I will concede that something odd happened to that shipment. But all you have proven is that Ingo is a slacker. Huh? How dare you! Be quiet, you mongrel. Sure, Ingo watered down the milk. That doesn't make him a killer, though, does it? Well, no. But now we do know that he definitely could have done it. We know he did go to the crime scene. And we know he did have the time and opportunity to kill Talon as well. Yet there is a vital element missing still. Let me put it in simple terms so even an idiot like you can understand. The murder weapon! You lack the murder weapon! If Ingo was the murderer, then it couldn't have been the saw! There's a scythe there. I think this is an investigation 1 or 2 thing. I've not played the second one, but I feel like that's probably more likely the case. What do I think of it? Why do you ask? I have this evidence here. Don't listen to him, Judge. That evidence has nothing to do with what's being discussed. Oh, don't worry, I knew that. Attorneys always seem to ask what I think, but they have no idea what they're talking about. No! You lack the murder weapon. If Ingo was the murderer, then it couldn't have been the saw. I mean, it could have been anything that's a sharp metal object. It's irregular, but it could have been anything. It doesn't have to be a saw specifically. Or not. Ah, the only thing that's clear is you're incompetent. I feel like I'm not understanding this logic. Oh, you can press it. I should have tried pressing it. And why is that? I didn't see that there was a press. I thought there was only you could present stuff. It's simple. If the girl's story about working on the fence is true, then she was using the saw while her father was being murdered. It couldn't have been in 2 places at the same time. Do I agree with this? Well, there's only one wood saw. You realize the problem that creates for you, right? I'm sure it can all be explained. As if. But very well, then let's move on to why nothing else could have been the murder weapon either. Where would this supposed other murder weapon have even come from? Can we have used any old thing? Either answer the question in defense or this discussion is over. Need to overthink this. Anywhere Ingo could have gotten the weapon will do. I'll worry about the exact details later. If you've forgotten this murder happened on a ranch, there are plenty of sharp things on site. That's simply impossible. Checked all sharp objects on the ranch and searched everyone. No fresh blood was found anywhere else. Couldn't Ingo have just... But she said she used the cloth. That means she would be lying about that. He ate the saw. Yeah, he ate the saw. Couldn't Ingo have just disposed of it in some way? Ah, that's impossible, you see. No items on the ranch's inventory list were missing, and that list is indisputable. How can you be so sure the inventory is accurate? Ah, use your head. There was a royal visitation scheduled for that day. The ranch owner needed everything to be in order. He would double, even triple check that list when he wrote it. I suppose he would have, but... No items from the ranch's inventory list were missing. Yeah, it's from the day before. I feel like I'm misunderstanding when you read the full text. Yeah, he did go out to buy that, but you can try it. I got a participation trophy, and here it is, a shiny new penalty. That's a permaban, by the way, if you made me lose a heart. Alright, everyone use your IQ together. What do you think it is? Well, no, because I tried pressing and it stopped me here. So there's definitely something you have to present here. You think it's again? The inventory list itself is false. Oh, fascinating. What exactly makes you question the veracity of this document? Yeah, the date. It's simple. You only need a brief look at the inventory to see it can't be trusted. Oh, you can't just go around making such general statements, defense. Point out exactly what about the inventory makes it. It's over here. Okay, it wasn't the date. All right, let's see what the animation is then. I feel I've seen enough to announce the verdict at this time. The defense has failed to establish a likely alternative scenario to the one presented by the prosecution. As such, I pronounce Malin of Lon Lon Ranch defendant shall submit herself to the king to have her fate decided. This court is adjourned. See how generous autosave is? Okay, it's not that bad. There's no fast text skip though. It did give me a screen. What did we do for this? I already forgot. That was too long ago. That was like 5 minutes ago. My brain doesn't remember it. Oh, I mashed A, I'm sorry. Wouldn't have time to hide anything very far from the ranch. You may be an A, but you really think you would have risked the weapon being found? Now listen here. Silence. Ah! Couldn't Ingo just dispose of it in some way? Ha! That's impossible, you see? Alright, so let's think about this a different way. You think anything could be missing? Hi.
Thanks for raiding Skyrocket God.
How was your stream? How'd the art go? What were you drawing? I'm currently playing a Zelda hack that makes it like Ace Attorney. I'm nearing the end. No, they said they checked it. It's just orders of milk. What were you drawing today, though? Yeah, it just came out like today or yesterday. The oil. Little silly drawing. I got a penalty. How can you be self-sure that inventory is accurate? Use your head. Okay, so we have to present the inventory here and then figure out what to do from there. The inventory is lists itself as false. No, he's linked. Right? Look out below. I'm looking at him. Thanks for the follows, by the way. Oh, fascinating. What exactly makes you question the veracity of this document? I see. Well, I hope it was fun and it came out good. Oh! Yeah, wood saws. I didn't even notice that until now. Oh, you can't just go around making such general statements, Defense. No, he was writing the reports, I think. I will have a good stream, thank you. It could be the name though. You are correct. It could be the name. There's two paths here, so we're gonna try the wood saws first. No, okay, it's definitely the name then. Because that means he wrote it and not the king, or not the king, Talon. I don't know why I said the king. Well, I'll get to it then. The sooner you get your greasy mitts off the list, the better. Just look here! The one who compiled this list was Ingo himself! Yeah, thank you again for the raid. Have a good rest. He could have easily falsified the counts as part of his plan. Ugh. That doesn't matter. Nothing could have left the ranch. I reckon. Well, that's just not true. How was your stream? How did the iRacing go? Wouldn't Ingo have been able just to throw the item out over the fence? Obviously, we searched the perimeter of the ranch as well. How'd the racing go, though? Thank you for the raid. Nothing was found anywhere. I'm currently playing a Zelda Romhack that makes it like Ace Attorney. This is the most important point. Has nothing really been able to leave? Well, that's just not true. Are you really sure nothing left the ranch? What about a few little shipments of milk? Preposterous! Have you forgotten that said shipments have been checked by the Sheikah force before they were allowed to leave? That's true, but there's a place that Sheikah could have overlooked. What in Din's name are you blabbling about? We're talking about bog standards crates here, boy. Not exactly vast dungeon full of nooks and crannies to stuff things into, are they? Where could they have missed a murder weapon? Well, they said that they looked through everything, so that's what confuses me. Yeah, they didn't look inside. There is one place inside of the crates that the Sheikah couldn't have checked thoroughly without ruining the shipments. Without ruining the shipments, yeah. Ugh! That's right. Ingo put the murder weapon inside one of the bottles to conceal it from the search. That does seem plausible. Now wait just a moment. A weapon in the milk bottle wouldn't just go unnoticed. Someone would have reported it. We hit him with the return just immediately. Let's hear what he has to say. How can you be so sure? Do you even know how much milk an average milk bar uses each day? All those shipments must have most certainly been completely used up by now. someone drinking from that bottle would have found it for sure. Choked on it even if they took too large a swig. It would be a huge scandal. Well, he's right about that, but he's missing some vital information. You would be correct that a weapon showing up in someone's milkshake would cause quite a stir. If the milk ever actually made it to any milk bar, that is. Huh? See, I overheard a very interesting tale during the recess. Word was sent from the ranch not long ago that one of the shipments was returned unopened due to being misaddressed. What? No! Indeed, if you recall, Ingo was the one who handled all of that. Now that's strange. The ranch supplies the same milk bars every day. Even if he had messed up the street address a little, the couriers would have known where the shipment was meant to go. How could he have bungled it that badly? It's almost as if he didn't want anyone receiving a bottle of milk with a murder weapon in it. Whoa. I bet Ingo expected this box to stay in shipping limbo a while longer. How unfortunate for him that the postal service was on its game today. Slam. I believe this calls for us to investigate these boxes of milk more closely. Soldiers, have these boxes retrieved from the ranch immediately. Argument complete. No, because if they were milk, they would have ruined the boxes. That's the whole point. Grr. Grr, this is slander. Something like that. Why would I kill Talon? Sure, he's a bit of a layabout, but he did give me a job. Why would I want him dead? The motive? That's simple. Why? I'm surprised you're even asking about it. Huh? The very inheritance document you brought to the court's attention states the following. In case of the testator's death, his daughter Malin of London Ranch will inherit the ranch. Unless she is unable to oversee it, in which case it shall be divided between the crown and the remaining employees. Ah! What? You not only killed Talon, but decided to frame Malin for the crime as well, so you would be the one to inherit part of the ranch. That's why you volunteered to work in the silo all day, give you an alibi so that Malin would be the only possible culprit. Of course, you knew about the royal visitation in advance. You knew that Malin would go back to the ranch house to prepare before they arrived. A perfect setup for the royals to find her next to the body. No, no, no! What are you talking about, Talons? Signing the ranch over to me? Preposterous. Did he really not know? I guess it was Dragmire who heard the actual document, not him. Your Honor? What is it, soldier? The box you requested is here. That's Ganondorf. He's Ganondorf Dragmire. Already? That was quite fast. Apparently the team at the ranch had already noticed something awry with it on their own. The box just arrived just as we were about to rush out a courier to deliver our message. Well, 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 let's see for ourselves then, shall we? The part of the shipment that proves my case is... probably the one that's red. Here it is, from the bottle with a slight red tint to the milk. Looks like some kind of serrated knife. That explains the irregular wound pretty nicely. How could those Sheikah idiots have missed this? I'm sure the milk was pure white when they first checked it. It took a whole day for the blood to dissolve in it. Either way, no matter how you slice it, this proves my theory right. Oh, I've had it. Fine, fine. You want to know why? You want to know why I really killed that scumbag? No, no, what are you? So you admit it? Yes, yes, I admit it. What would you do if one day, after years of backbreaking labor, despite putting your all into the ranch, you were thrown away like rubbish without any reason, fired? Farewell, we don't need you anymore. What? But that doesn't make any sense. Oh, don't lie, I heard it all. I was just returning back from another day of spine-wrenching work, and lo and behold, what's this? Malin and Talon are talking behind my back. I heard it all. We'll let him go after the visitation. We can handle things without him. And so, after volunteering to work on that shipment, I quietly slipped out while the girl was busy and shanked the good-for-nothing slacker. Ha! You should have seen his face. He didn't expect it at all. So yes, Malin, I killed that lazy bum you called a father. And he deserved it. Order. The witness will cease his boasting over such a terrible deed. I think we've heard enough. Soldiers, take him away. Wait just a moment. Ingo. Yes, girl. Want to apologize for what you've done? Apologize? Me? You're horrible. We weren't planning to fire you at all. You completely misunderstood what we were saying. What? We've had so much work recently. Well, you know how it goes with the royal visits. Always a busy time. Gotta make sure everything's in tip-top shape. I do worry somewhat about old Ingo, though. He's been complaining about his back recently. I do wish he'd take a step back and relax sometime. Maybe we should convince him to take a vacation. Ah! Now there's an idea. It'd do him good to just get out for the day. I discussed it with him after the visitation. After things calm down, we can handle everything without him. That's... You were planning what? A vacation for me? And I did... No! No, it can't be so! Please say it isn't so! We have witnessed today the results of a truly horrifying misunderstanding. But misunderstanding or not, what he's done is unforgivable. Talon was a kind man beloved by all. Had the good fortune to cross his path. His loss would be felt not only at his ranch, but all across Hyrule. The killer turned out to be an utterly pathetic man with delusions of grandeur. I mean, look at him! An utter idiot dressed like a clown. Jeez, he's really laying into him. Bet he's just upset because he lost. The prosecution's rants aside, I think it's time to declare today's verdict. This is just a formality, but will the defendant please step up to the stand? Yeah, there's been like really good animation work this whole entire time. This has been one of the most enjoyable Romhacks like ever for me. They got it perfect. They did everything perfect. I'm not sure why they did it in Zelda N64, but you know, it's awesome. Young miss, I am very sorry for the situation you have found yourself in. I am very glad you appear to have such a good attorney as a friend. I wouldn't have chosen anyone else. Aw, thanks. Now then, without further ado, in the name of Goddess Hylia and the sacred land of Hyrule, I hereby find Malin of Lon Lon Ranch. Woo! Confetti! Important. Court is adjourned. We won the case! We did it! I suppose so. I guess Ingo's outburst kind of soured the mood, huh? I don't think I can ever forgive Mr. Ingo for what he's done. That's fair enough, honestly. Really though, you shouldn't think about that for now. You're free, it's time to celebrate. I guess you're right. Excellent work. I knew you pulled through. Oh, thanks. I couldn't have done it without you, really. So, thank you. Oh, now, that's not quite right. If you want to thank someone, I'm not the one who deserves it the most. Huh? Your Highness? I thought you were going back to Hyrule Castle. What strings did Impa have to pull to get her here? I was, but I realized I should apologize for what I did personally. She freaking lied on the stand like 3 times, by the way. In case you're wondering what Zelda did. It's an honor. Ah, there is no need to bow. Not after what I done. Really, if not for my status, I would have probably been carted off to the prison alongside that angry little man. Perjury's pretty serious, so that's probably not entirely wrong. As usual, you don't give yourself enough credit, Your Highness. How can you say that, detective? I almost condemned an innocent person to prison. Yes, there are some things you should think of twice about doing in the future. But it's all thanks to you that the young lady over there finally went free. Huh? Come on, attorney, show Her Highness what I'm talking about. What? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Oh yeah, the oil. She gave the oil. The bottle. Well, it's true. Without this and without knowing about the fire, we wouldn't have had any proof. You're in a con man? That has nothing to do with this. And really, your obviously false testimony helped us a lot. Youch! Impa just stepped on my foot. Well, there you have it. In any case, I'm sure Miss Malin isn't too upset. Well, sure? And we have our orders to escort the princess back to the castle immediately. Ah, just in time. Farewell, Your Highness. And so they left. Now then, listen to me. I know that I am perhaps being a bit too lenient on the princess, but tough times are ahead. The princess will need all the confidence she can get to lead the kingdom through them. She needs to learn to take responsibility for her actions too, though. And she will. Huh? Her Highness is in for a rather unpleasant afternoon today, I imagine. The urgency with which she has just been escorted out of here isn't coincidental. What? Is the king going to scold her? At the very least. Now then. My duties call, unfortunately, so I must be off. Again, you did well today, both of you. I trust that I will be able to rely on you in future court proceedings as well. I'll try my best. That's all I can ask. The unpleasant prosecutor seems to be making his way over here, so I'll be excusing myself post-haste. Farewell. Uh-oh. You. Hello, nice day we're having, isn't it? Tell me, now, where did that blasted detective go? to have my reputation tarnished this way by some novice attorney from the boonies. Dramatic much? He looks absolutely ready to burst from anger. Don't be such a sore loser. You lost. Deal with it. Yeah, we got the right verdict. Doesn't that make you even a little bit glad? Yes, I suppose there is some worth in that. What transpired is most unfortunate. I can only offer my condolences. Just remember that it was the meddling of that idiotic princess and the stupidity of that blasted detective that led to your arrest. If you have any grievances, take it up with them. Suppose there is some truth to what he's saying. Speaking of the detective, it appears she has fled from me like a cuckoo on fire. Mark my words, she will regret what she's done for generations. Well, that sure was something. I don't know if he was being sincere or just wanted to shift blame onto someone else. I wouldn't say he's entirely blameless. Never mind that. Think you'll be alright running the ranch by yourself? Of course I'll come visit, but I have my attorney duties too. I'll get in touch with the cast to see if they can spare some men to work at the ranch. Silly as my father may have seemed, he really did prepare me to take over one day, and he's taught me well. I'll make sure the animals are well cared for, just like I always have. That's the spirit. I believe in you. I really want to thank you for bringing the truth to light. If it wasn't for you, I don't even want to think about what could have happened. Don't mention it. I'm just glad everything worked out in the end. And so ended a very personal case for me. It felt like a weight had been lifted off my back. Malin continued working at the ranch, hoping to make it prosper even beyond what her father was able to accomplish. I didn't really think much about it, but the days following were some of the happiest I'd lived for a long time. Little did I know that a terrible tragedy would soon shock the entire kingdom and I'd find myself smack dab in the middle of it. But that's a legend for another day. The hero of law. 3D credits. I think this is extremely good, by the way. I couldn't think of a single flaw with it, honestly. They had everything perfect. They had its own interesting, like, twists and turns and stuff. It runs on the original console too, which is a bonus for me when stuff runs on the N64 itself and not just emulator only. The freaking, like, dual destinies, like, logic thing of trying to, like, piece together the things with the goddesses all flying up was super awesome too. I can't believe Ingo's a freaking murderer. So cool in the Ocarina of Time. Where did you get that from? Created using Ocarina of Time NPC Maker. Pretty sure he has his own piano in Ocarina of Time at the end. I've never even beat the game, but I'm pretty sure he has his own. It's freaking dead for real. And me, the dog. That's me. Who are you? Man, it even ends like an N64 thing, or it doesn't actually end properly. Well, I think this was one of the best mods I've ever played. Or ROM hacks, rather. If I want to get technical. Scene select is now unlocked. Extra one? What is extra one? Freaking Mario Wonder music. No! It's actually really hard to control. This is not the ideal camera angle for me. It's a little low. I can't get over this remix. Wow, I really needed one of those. Thanks. In return, I'll tell you about a secret I've heard. Supposedly, there's a game with a giant egg in which you can become a criminal. And a pair of games with climate change and time travel. They say that extras can be unlocked by connecting them on the title screen using a certain accessory. Now, I don't know what that means, but I'm sure you can figure it out. See ya! Huh? Game with a giant egg where you were a criminal? It might be another hack that I'm not aware of. It's probably just something I'm not aware of, which is fine. Anyways, we beat the thing. Mario 64 Mike? Huh? Well, I have a pretty high opinion of this. I'll look into that on my own time. I don't think I need to look at it myself on stream.